Now, I can admit to you guys, the main thing about this whole true crime gig is that the stories never really run out, because America and just the world in general is filled with just fucked up people doing fucked up shit all the fucked up time. Guys, today we're going to be talking about a Debbie Collier type case, as we have Madeline Kingsbury, a mother of, I believe, 2. She went missing after dropping children off at daycare. This happened in Minnesota. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Let's get on into it. Let's do it.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm thejbgunner, and this is Crime Time with thejbgunner. Before we get started, I want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports this channel or any of my other channels, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. And if you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show your boys some love, support the channel, join the Gun Squad today. We all know YouTube demonetizes most of my content. They just do what they do, take me down half the time. You guys are what makes this thing roll. While you're down there, by the way, if you're not a snowflake, feel free to subscribe to some of my other channels. My political channel, which is down for a week, my live stream channel, which that shit gets off the chain, gaming channel, wrestling channel, whatever the fuck. I'll let you guys do what you want to do. That's on you. Guys, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. This is my first video on this topic. I know a lot of people out here, they've already dropped these videos about Madeline Kingsbury. A lot of times I like to wait until a little bit more information comes in. There's not a whole lot with this currently. But let's go ahead and jump right into the story. Let's see what we got. Desperate search for missing mom of 2. Yes, my voice is still fucked up. You're going to have to deal with it. Suck my dick. Desperate search for missing mom of 2, age 26, who vanished 5 days ago before she could collect her kids from daycare. Phone and wallet are found in her house. Now, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Remember when Debbie Collier went missing, they said the purse and her cell phone, or not her cell phone, but her purse and her ID and all that shit was found at home? You guys know how I feel about Debbie Collier. I don't feel Debbie Collier committed suicide. I 100% believe that her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend killed Debbie Collier. This situation, I'm going to just go out with my gut and say the husband. But let's go ahead and get into this so we can see why. Madeline Kingsbury, age 26, was last seen March 31st at around 10 a.m. at her house. Her partner says he left the house in a minivan and returned to find her missing, of course. Police believe her disappearance was involuntary and suspicious. Let's go ahead and we're going to see what the news has to say. But I just want to make this clear before we continue on. To be perfectly honest, it feels like a husband thing to do. Why? Because he waited until after the child was dropped off at daycare, right? And that gave him a chance to go off to work, do whatever. She had to go to work. He left. And to be perfectly honest, the car with her belongings still at the house, that means she was apprehended, in my opinion, from the house. Yeah, women don't leave without their fucking keys and their purse and shit like that. They just don't do it. They don't typically leave without something. So in my opinion, this woman was taken from her house. Now, I guess there's 2 different theories that it could possibly be. 3 different theories, potentially, right? The husband would be the number 1 theory. Number 2, I guess you could say possibly she ran off, but I'm not really seeing that either. Because even if she had like a side dick or something she was running off to, the likelihood of her leaving everything behind is very, very slim. Now, we've seen situations like this before. We've seen housewives and or just wives in general that was involved in some sort of love triangle. And if you guys remember the blonde wife married for a long time when she was banging like the maintenance dude, the little maintenance taco vendor. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, she ended up being killed by said taco vendor who put her in a fucking suitcase and dragged her down the fucking road. But anyway, enough of that. But this situation, to me, has to be the only other option is a home invasion. A home invasion, and what is the likelihood that this happened at the exact time after husband went to work, kids got dropped off at daycare? I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Just right now, it feels in my gut as if we're looking at a situation where the husband decided to wait till the child was gone, and then he decided to do this shit himself. Let's go ahead and see what the story's about. Let's go.
Tonight, a family's desperate search for a young Minnesota mother of two who police say mysteriously vanished last week, and they say she could be in danger.
We believe Maddie's disappearance is involuntary, suspicious, and we are all concerned for her safety.
26-year-old
Police are looking at it obviously in the same, frame of thought that I am. Probably because she left the things behind. It seems like she was abducted or involuntarily taken from the house. It's kind of hard to see it any other way.
Madeline Kingsbury was last seen at her home in Winona, about 115 miles southeast of Minneapolis. Her sister speaking at a press conference Wednesday.
Please help us find Madeline. The children need their mother. We need our daughter, our sister, our aunt, and our best friend back.
Watch the police fuck around and say she committed suicide.
Friday morning, Kingsbury and the father of her children dropped the kids off at daycare around 8 a.m., and they both returned home. The father of her children, who was questioned by police, then left around 10 a.m. in their 2014 Chrysler Town & Country minivan. And when he returned around 1:30, police say Kingsbury was gone. But in that 3.5-hour time frame,
that's a very small time frame. Well, 3.5 hours. So he left. And I got a question. And look, man, I get it. My work hours are different. It feels weird for a dude to leave off to work at, first of all, 10 a.m. anyway. Second of all, only be gone 3.5 hours. I don't know about you, but I always thought work days were like fucking 8 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Different times, different people got different hours. I don't know what that man did. But I'm going to be honest, man. I start working every day at like fucking 5 or 6. And I'm never done at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm not done. I'm barely done at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock that evening, right? I get it, though. Anything's possible. But just to me, just gut feeling, when I hear that this dude left for work at 10, that's late in the fuck anyway. What are you, a teenager? 10 o'clock, and then come back barely after lunch. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not understanding it. I could be wrong, though. Let's roll.
They say a vehicle similar to the couple's minivan was caught on surveillance, leaving the area and then returning. It's unclear who was behind the wheel.
We believe the van remained parked in the driveway of Maddie's residence from 1:30 p.m. on. Nothing to date has indicated that Maddie left the residence on foot or in another vehicle.
Police say Kingsbury never...
There you have it. If you listen to that right there, nothing suggests she left the place on foot or in another vehicle. That means she was probably fucked up right there. Right there.
Showed up for work, and what they found in her home, even more concerning.
But then again, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, though. Well, we'll get to that in a second. If the van remained parked there, then it's obvious dude didn't go dump the body. You hear what I'm saying? If the van remained parked there, there's surveillance and they believe the van remained there, then that would clear the husband, wouldn't it? Unless the bitch is still in the house. Maybe I'm just throwing something against the wall to see if it sticks, but if dude didn't leave, then he didn't go like dispose of the body. But, it's early in the story.
Inside the residence, investigators located Maddie's phone, the jacket she had been wearing earlier in the morning, along with her wallet and ID.
Police calling on the public for help, issuing maps and asking them to focus searches on these specific areas, check out any buildings and property for disturbances, and scan home surveillance video for anything unusual.
We will remain loud about this and continue to...
I don't even know why people kill people these days. There's constantly a camera on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's constantly surveillance. We're constantly being tracked, all of this. Like, I don't even understand how people even try to get away with the shit these days. That's just me. If I was to kill somebody, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if I had it in my head, I'm going to kill this motherfucker, then I would make it look like 100% like it was self-defense. And I wouldn't kill anybody in a state that doesn't have, self-defense laws, right? But I'm just saying, to me, if I said to myself, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Look, man, there's no way to get away with it like that. Not really. Even though only half of murders get solved in the United States, there's just so much surveillance. And I'm the type of motherfucker that drinks too much. I couldn't be sneaky and ninja like that, right? I would have to make it self-defense. I'd figure out a way, right? That's just me. What about y'all?
To advocate for Madeline any way, shape, or form.
Her family grateful and hopeful.
This community has really rallied around us, and so many wonderful people have traveled from all over the state and beyond to come and help find my sister, and we're beyond grateful and we're truly touched.
Police say a large coordinated search is in the works for Friday, and the family has announced a reward of $50,000. Police have not named any suspects or persons of interest in this case.
By the way, they have called off the search.
Police if the father of Madeline's children has been ruled out as having anything to do with her disappearance. Police tell NBC News that's not information they can share at this time.
There you go. But like I said, the police have called off the search. Just give you a little bit of highlights of the story. 26-year-old mother of two from Minnesota. She's been missing almost a week. Let me kind of take this down, get a smaller version. She's been missing essentially almost a week. On March 31st at around 10 a.m. is when this disappearance began. She and the father of her children took the 5-year-old and a 2-year-old boy, 5-year-old girl, 2-year-old boy to daycare, dropped them off before returning home. At around 10, the father of the house left in the 2014 Chrysler Town and Country minivan. He told authorities by the time he came back, 1:30 we know, she was no longer there. Her job said she didn't show up. Friends and family said she did not respond to a number of calls and messages. See, we need to find out when those calls and messages came through, right? Because that would kind of give us maybe a tighter, we need to find out essentially just like what I said, when were these friends and family members texting? We believe Maddie's disappearance is involuntary. We heard the cop here. It's unclear that she left her home of her own volition because she left her phone, wallet, and ID. Surveillance video. Police determined a van matching the description was driving in Fillmore County between 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Friday. Based on the investigation, we know that the children were dropped off at the daycare. The van returned home. They did not confirm who was driving the van at the time. They are asking residents in both counties to check their own security cameras. So, in my opinion, this homicide, which I believe it is, happened between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Just to be perfectly honest. And then, let me feel this out. They dropped the child off at 8 a.m. at daycare. They get into a fight between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. He kills her at 10 a.m. when he goes to work. He may have a package with him when he leaves, that package being Madeline. That's the only way. If they truly believe that the van never left the house after 1:30 p.m., then in my opinion, he had to have killed her between 8 and 10, took her with him, and then disposed of her somewhere between 10 and 1:30. The key to this is going to be to find out, is there confirmation of what he was doing, where he was at when he left for work? Where was he exactly after 10 a.m., between 10 a.m. and 1:30? And is there anyone that can confirm that? Is there any documentation? Do you see what I'm saying? Because right now, my gut feeling says, drop the kid off 8 a.m., got in a fight between 8 and 10. He killed her between 8 and 10. Took her out of the house at 10 o'clock when he went to work because the van never left once it came home. At least that's what they're saying. So I'll leave that up to you guys. You guys tell me what you think. They did not confirm who was driving the van, of course. The investigation is still open as to what happened upon returning home. Makes sense? Winona police have not offered a suspect, but have told residents to check their own surveillance cameras for a dark blue minivan driving by or stopping in the city of Winona Township. Which, look, man, it's clear. You're going to have to check the dumpsters. You're going to have to check water sources. Kingsbury's family spoke at a press conference offering a $50,000 reward. This woman was 5'4", about 135 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. Another very sad story that we have to report on. We'll see where this goes. My gut feeling, you guys know I love to get the gut feelings and the initial things. I was just right about the 3 little Tyrones down in Florida. I was just right about them. I'm going to be right on this situation. Gut feeling, husband killed her between 8 and 10, took the body, hauled it out, on his way to work, threw her somewhere. We just got to find out where. That's my gut feeling. It's going to be some sort of marital issues. She was going to divorce him, some shit like that. And I'm telling you, we don't like a bitch to take alimony. We don't like you to take half of our shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that going on. Maybe even she had something on the side, but he wasn't playing that divorce shit. He wasn't playing that shit where you were about to take half of his shit. As a man, I understand completely. I'd probably do the same thing. You ain't gonna take what I fucking work for. I'm just being dead honest. So that's just my theory. I'll let you guys decide. Tell me in the comment section what you think. What do you think happened to Madeline? I know there's probably a lot of other YouTubers already covering this that somehow, I'm sure Gray Hughes has a fucking whole little 3D map and shit. I'm sure all of that shit existed, right? I'm sure they got it. I'm sure they got all that shit. This is my first dive into the case. Of course, I'll be doing research to get you guys updates. You guys know how I do with these cases. I love you guys. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time with JB Gunner. If you like what I do here, you want to support the channel, if you find it valuable, hit the links down below. Most importantly, come back for the next one. I'll see you next time. Peace out, y'all. Be good.